Good morning. Thank you for being here. Here we are, 18 days from a possible fiscal cliff, hopefully not, 12 days until Christmas, and here we are once again having a 2-day work week in the Congress of the United States. You have to ask the question, why are we going home instead of working very hard to forge an agreement to avoid that fiscal cliff? Why are we not working very hard to pass legislation to address the needs posed by Katrina? People out there are waiting to see if we can manage what we are doing. If we take Christmas and engineer back in time, because this is all about time, the most precious of all commodities, because it can produce results or not. If we take Christmas and engineer back from there, because that's the day, well, we won't be in session, we could engineer a path forward to say, what can we do in that amount of time? We really have to come to some agreement in the next couple of days or the very beginning of next week for us to have engineered our way to a solution. I wasn't trained as an engineer, but I admire their work because they find solutions. They make things work. They make things operate. And what we have to do is politically engineer a solution. If we agree that we will have a solution and that we will avoid the cliff, as I think we all should agree to that, then what are the steps we need to take and how quickly can we take them so that we at least have a week of consumer confidence that can improve. But we have a week as the year comes to an end where the markets have the confidence to go forward. So far they trust that we would not be so stupid as to go over a cliff. The markets have reflected some optimism, I believe, in that regard. But the consumer spending, as you see by some statements of CEO of Walmart for one, that the season is not as what was hoped for in terms of consumer confidence and consumer purchasing. We're coming down to the wire. It's a matter of days. Last week we went out on Wednesday morning. This week we'll probably go out on Thursday morning, having come in on Tuesday. Two-day work weeks in a row. This is just not right. How does this make sense? When time is of the essence, while the clock is ticking, and again, we're coming down to the wire. And just to be clear, Democrats have said, we have already agreed in the Budget Control Act and in the other legislation passed by this Congress to $1.6 trillion in spending cuts. We already have agreed in the Affordable Care Act and in the President's budget to over $1 trillion in savings in Medicare, to be plowed back to strengthen Medicare and to increase benefits, but to strengthen it. And it just remains for the Republicans to agree to pass the middle income tax cut, which gives a tax cut, by the way, to 100% of the American people. For people making over $250,000 a year, they get a tax cut up to $250,000 a year and are asked to pay a little more beyond that. This is all about confidence, consumer confidence, market confidence. It's about creating jobs and growing our economy. Chairman Bernanke, who sort of coined the phrase of the cliff, has said that if we don't act, and we should act as soon as possible because there's already a slope here, if we don't act, the economy will go over the cliff. Not just our budget process, the economy will go over the cliff. What more motivation do our Republican colleagues have than to get the job done, to manage the issue, to engineer a solution so that we can go forward? And it'll be 2 stages. This year we'll deal with the spending, the issues that I mentioned earlier, and next year we can take a bigger issue at reforming the tax code, closing loopholes, perhaps lowering rates for individuals. Corporate America, that's a longer endeavor, and also to look at how we can increase savings from the entitlement side of it. So the Speaker had proposed a two-step process. Let's take step one as a big down payment, then we go to step two to some of the reforms that we can subject to scrutiny to see if they really do save money, if they do create jobs, if they do reduce the deficit, if they do grow the economy. Any questions? Yeah.
You talked about comprehensive tax reform.
I said Katrina, not Sandy. I'm still thinking of Katrina. We have to address the needs. And if I just may say that, thank you. Whoever just put that there, was that you, Drew? The way had to do this before, where we had an impasse with a disagreement with the executive branch and the legislative branch. At that time, it was Katrina. But the important, every day that we didn't pass something for Katrina was really caused great apprehension in that region and with individuals living there. And so same thing with Sandy. Where is the confidence they will get if they see we want this little bit now and maybe this little bit now and you can't spend that now? No. It's not about only what you can spend now. It's what you can plan on now. So the timing is really important for Sandy as well, as it was when we had a similar impasse because of the Iraq War that people were concerned would hold up the Katrina funding. Yes, ma'am.